How heavy is this thing?
Here, I got this.
Whoa! How did you do that?
Well, it's easy, thanks to simple machines.
What?
Here, I'll show you. All you need is a long stick and a rock.
I don't get it.
Alright, try watching this. There are 6 different simple machines. The screw, the lever, the inclined plane, the wedge, the wheel and axle, and the pulley. The screw is an inclined plane wrapped around a pole. The lever is a rod that tilts on a pivot or fulcrum to make a useful action on another point. The inclined plane is a sloping surface that reduces the effort needed to raise loads. An example is a ramp. The wedge is a part of a machine with a sloped side that moves to exert a useful action on another point. An example is an axe or scissors, but scissors is also a compound machine, so we'll get to that later. The wheel and axle is a device that turns around a fixed point to act as a rotating lever. An example is a car's wheel and axle. The pulley is a grooved wheel that turns on an axle over which a rope, chain, or belt passes. An example is a clothesline. Those are the 6 simple machines.
Oh, I get it. So what you used was a lever.
Yup.
Hold on a second. So machines take all of the work out of the job? That's great.
No, I did not say that.
But when you use that lever, you move the box so easily.
Yeah, that's the key. Easier. To fully know simple machines, you have to know what a machine is.
Wait, let me guess. A machine is a device that does all the work with a press of a button or a flick of the switch. Am I right,
Not even close.
huh?
See, a machine is a device that makes work seem easier. It doesn't take the entire workload.
Really? How does it do that?
That leads us to a machine's mechanical advantage. Let's take a look. Whenever you use a simple machine, you feel like the work is easier. Why is that, you may ask? That is because mechanical advantage, MA for short, is the number of times a machine increases a force exerted on it. Meaning, when you use a machine, if you do the calculations right, you get the number of times it seems easier to do the work.
Okay, so you were talking about this calculation thing. How does it work?
Well, let's try one. Here's the actual equation to find a machine's mechanical advantage. Mechanical advantage equals output force divided by input force. So if the input force is 25 and the output force of the machine is 50, what is the mechanical advantage?
So mechanical advantage equals output force divided by input force. Then plug in the output force on the top and the input force on the bottom. Now is MA equals 50.
Don't forget that the force is measured in newtons. Also, that input force is the force you put on the object, and the output force is the force that the machine exerts on the object.
Yeah, so it is MA equals 50 newtons divided by 25 newtons. And that equals 2. But what does that mean again?
It means that the work you just did in that situation feels, and it is, 2 times easier.
I got it now.
Now let's use a harder problem in the box situation. You want to move that box again, so you use a lever. You put a force of 40 newtons and the machine exerts a force of 160 newtons. What is the mechanical advantage?
Okay, so mechanical advantage equals output force divided by input force. The output force is how much force the machine exerts on the object. So it is 160 newtons. And the input force is how much force I put, so it is 40 newtons. Now it is MA equals 160 newtons divided by 40 newtons. That equals 4. So the work I did felt like it was 4 times easier.
You got it. This leads us to changing the mechanical advantage.
And how do you do that?
You either change the force, the distance, or change the direction. Like, if you were using an inclined plane to go a higher distance, you could change the distance.
What?
Or like this. If you ever seen a parking garage, the road that goes to the next floor is an inclined plane. Also, the road is swirled. Do you know why?
No.
This is because when you increase the distance of an inclined plane, it'll make the mechanical advantage higher. Except it'll make the time to travel on it longer.
Oh.
Well, that's all. See ya!
But there is still one more thing you need to tell me about.
What? I told you everything there is to know.
What about compound machines?
Oh, right, the best part. Now that you understand simple machines, you'll know what compound machines are. Compound machines are made up of 2 or more simple machines. So going back to the scissors, they are compound machines because they are made up of 2 wedges.
Well, are there any others?
Oh yeah, you could name many more. You can even make your own. Another common example is a wheelbarrow. It consists of a lever and a wheel and axle.
Oh, I get it now.
Alright, now let's see what you've learned. Question 1. Name the 6 simple machines.
The lever, wheel and axle, pulley, screw, inclined plane, and wedge.
Question 2. Give an example of a wedge that's not a compound machine.
A knife.
Question 3. If you put a force of 50 newtons on a box to push up a ramp and the box is 1,500 newtons, what is the mechanical advantage?
Well, mechanical advantage equals output force divided by input force, and the input force is 50 newtons. Also, the output force is 1,500 newtons. So now the equation is MA equals 1,500 newtons divided by 50 newtons, and that equals 30. So the work is 30 times easier.
Question 4. How many simple machines make up a compound machine?
2 or more.
Question 5. Define machine.
A machine is the device that makes work seem easier.
Question 6. How do you increase the mechanical advantage of a machine?
You either change the distance, change the force, or change the direction.
Great! Now you are a master at this stuff. Well, I must go now.
Wait, I don't even know your name.
Let's just say I'm a friend.
Oh, how did you do that? Well, let's just say it's all about simple machines. What? Wow, now I understand all of this. Where did you learn it from? Well, let's just say a friend taught me.
So here we go, let's take the chance. 2 villains who have been cursed want to control the universe with a rod and a shiny necklace. Well, that's kind of odd, but wait, they might have a chance to make their evil plan advance. They're gonna have to get themselves leather pants, I'll sing it.